Hello everybody, this is Sam with yardsnacker.com, and today I discovered a video in my old archives on my hard drive, and I'm talking about composting, and I never put it together. So basically what this is I was gardening at the time, and I had learned about hot composting, I had learned about cold composting, I had learned about kitchen composting, I had learned about composting on your deck, etc., etc., etc. There are a million YouTube videos out there, and I discovered one way about how to take old vegetable scraps, which I'll show here in a second, put them in a Vitamix, blend them up with a little bit of water, throw them on your paths, and let them sink down in there and stir them up. And what happens is you enrich the soil immediately, and there's actually microbes that eat all the carbohydrates, the proteins, and etc. And they live in the soil, and then once that seeps down into the soil, then the worms move in. And boy, do they move in, because the soil is just really super fertile. And not that many people know that worms basically have to eat food that's, basically broken down. So you let the microbes do the work, and then you go ahead and let the worms do the work. And if you can get worms in your garden, let me tell you, your garden is going to be great. So anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm basically blending up a week's worth of kitchen scraps and putting it in a pitcher, and then I'm going to show you how I put it out in my garden. And this is just a really quick way to get nutrients to your soil without having to compost for a long time. I talk about this as being a cold compost. It's actually a side dressing. So anyway, enjoy, and I hope you guys are getting out there. Okay, so here's what we've got going on here. I've got a bunch of kale that's growing, and I know I need to weed. And then I've got tons of beets. These are rainbow beets. Those are coming in great. And I've got, let's see, 8 different types of tomatoes. These are shorter for some reason, just different varieties. And then I've got these monster ones back here. So I'm going to take my slurry and pop this open. I'm not really walking in these aisles, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour it back in these aisles, and this is for next year. Actually, I'm going to need to pop that lid. Okay, so here it is. I've got the lid popped off, and again, this is going to be a compost for next year, and so I'm just going to pour it in this aisle, making sure you don't get it on your feet. Okay, so there it is. Now what will happen is all of the water will drain down into the soil, and then when that's done, you wait 1 day, 1 or 2 days, and then you take a little hoe or something like that, and you just kind of work it into about 1 inch of soil. Okay, so it hasn't been a day, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you how you do this. So here's my cold compost, all of my veggie pulp from a few days, and then what you're going to want to do is just basically work it into the ground, and that'll mix it in with the soil microbes and make it so the soil next year is really, really super nutritious and fortified with tons of minerals and all sorts of good stuff. So there you go.